Hello and welcome to the weekly Kashmir University Video Digest Quest. First, a look at the highlights. Quetta holds annual function and seminar on Article 35A. Meeting on Curricular Reform Initiative held. And IT and SS organizes workshop on library resources and data preservation. Now the details with your host Beenish Ali. Kashmir University Teachers Association Quetta conducted its annual function and organized a seminar on the Article 35A. Vice President Quetta, Professor Manzoor Ahmed Butt, while welcoming the guests, talked about the theme of the seminar.
The theme of the seminar was chosen after thorough deliberations over a good deal of time. We are optimistic that the learned speakers will help us to understand the significance of Article 35A by providing social, political, economic, legal, psychological, spiritual and intellectual perspectives. Spiritual I have specifically mentioned here because Kashmir has been abode of Sufi Santas and Rishis. So this perspective also needs to be taken into consideration that their souls are not annoyed by eroding Article 35A. We are optimistic that the deliberations will help us to have critical, comprehensive and better understanding of the Article 35A in the contemporary, national, regional and global scenario.
General Secretary Quetta, Dr. Musawwir, briefed the audience on the history of the Article 35A.
To protect their rights in government services against the people from Punjab who had started making inroads into the state. These fears led to the promulgation of notifications by Maharaja Hari Singh defining the state subjects and their rights. The Presidential Order of 1954 provided a framework which includes the inclusion of Article 35A in the Indian Constitution for the division of powers between J&K and Union Government under Article 370. The Constitution of J&K has retained the definition of state subject as in the notifications of 1927 and 1932.
Head Department of Law at the Central University of Kashmir, Dr. Sheikh Shaukat Hussain, said that the Article 35A can be challenged in two ways in the Supreme Court of India.
35A is part of a constitutional order 1954 issued by President of India in pursuance of the powers that he has or the state has under Article 370. Now this can be challenged on two bases. They may discuss it. One is the procedure that is opted for issuing the constitutional orders. ये क्या हुआ? Constitution बनाने का power तो पूरी तरह Constituent Assembly को था. फिर Parliament को बेसिक स्ट्रक्चर माइनस इसमें मॉडिफिकेशंस का हक है, लेकिन ये प्रेसिडेंट कहां से आ गए कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन बनाने वाले? दैट इज द प्रोसीजर इटसेल्फ कैन बी क्वेश्चनड, एंड इफ इट इज क्वेश्चनड देन होल ऑफ द 1954 ऑर्डर दैट हैज कम थ्रू द सेम प्रोसीजर. वी वर नॉट सिटीजंस ऑफ इंडिया prior to 1954 order. We became citizens of India through this order. Part 3rd of the Indian Constitution was applied through this constitutional order.
Retired Air Marshal Kapil Kak opined that Jammu and Kashmir is a special state and one must accept it.
It sort of details a procedure for declaration of permanent residence or what we call state subjects of the state of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir Riyasat. Axiomatically, it also prohibits non-state subjects from acquiring land, availing any aid or scholarships for settling down in the state in any form. And thirdly, and more importantly, it also permits the legislator of Jammu and Kashmir to enact laws so that this article does not face a challenge from citizens of the rest of India on grounds of equality of law or any other law that the Constitution of India accords to its citizens. So there is, in mindset, in belief system, in the core of the minds of all of us, and I speak as a Kashmiri, that we are special people, and that's what makes us believe we are the center of the earth.
Eminent lawyer Mr. Zafar Ahmed Shah said that the identity of Kashmir has remained intact with this article in the Indian Constitution.
This particular article, in simple language, is our identity. This particular article sums up the total of what you call, of course, this word has also got abused, Kashmiriyat. As somebody said it, our gentleman sitting to my left, look at it from spiritual angles, look at it from other angles, that all which gives it a distinct position, distinct character will go. Therefore, it becomes important for us to defend it.
Journalist Mr. Prem Shankar Jha opined that, keeping in view the practicality of things, it seems unlikely that the Supreme Court of India would suggest any change in the Article 35A.
I think first and foremost, let me tell you why I think that it is completely impossible for Article 370 to be changed in any substantial way by anyone, even if it is passed by a constitutional amendment in Parliament, which I cannot foresee. Even then, I am absolutely certain it will be knocked down by a future Supreme Constitutional Bench of the Supreme Court. It may not even get that far. Why? Because don't keep looking at the past. Article 370 was the basis of the creation of Articles 371 and 372, if I'm not mistaken. You have Nagaland and 7 northeastern states, which have exactly the same status, give or take minor differences, as Kashmir does. So any issue that involves eliminating Article 370 immediately raises the question of total integration of those 7 states. Now, it so happens that one of them is also claimed by China. So would any government want to start a process that would destabilize Arunachal Pradesh and greatly strengthen the China's claim that we should take it over, particularly when they can do it whenever they want. They have the military strength to do it.
Professor Gulwani from the Political Science Department reasoned that if Article 35A of the Indian Constitution is removed, then the polities of pre-partition will emerge.
It is also very important to understand that why Jammu and Kashmir state came to have a special status within the constitutional framework of India. And there were a couple of reasons for that. One, that the special status, or 35A, 370 and many other things, these were there to remove historical wrongs. And Kashmir has been subjected to many historical wrongs. One. Two, that it is an article of faith. It entails the concept of homeland. It has emerged out of a negotiated settlement. It created a middle ground. It was a grand understanding that the people of Jammu and Kashmir can face up to the logic of partition and also to the logic of sovereignty. What is going to happen if it is removed? It will bring back the politics of 1947 in the contemporary political discourse of Kashmir.
Former Head, Department of Law, Kashmir University, Professor Noor Ahmed Bilal also spoke on the occasion.
It has been definitely a historical process which has culminated a desire of the self-rule in the minds of the people of the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and to protect and preserve that identity again.
President Kuta, Professor Mohammad Hussain, thanked all the speakers and participants for taking part in the seminar.
It's a very important issue which we were discussing today till this time. Sheikh Shaukat Saab expressed his apprehensions And he said that the topic is associated with the paradoxes, many paradoxes. And then he highlighted some of the paradoxes. One paradox is to dilute the attention from the actual issue. He said that 35A, taking it to the court, is also one of the paradoxes, to dilute the main issue, which is the problem basically. We heard Mr. Kapil Kak. For him, 35A is a declaration of permanent residence of the people of the state of J&K. I'm thankful to all who participated, the learned speakers and the participants. Thank you and thank you all.
On the occasion, Kuta also felicitated the retired university teachers. The Directorate of Internal Quality Assurance organized a meeting with the experts and members of RUSA. The meeting was held in connection with curriculum reform initiatives under the RUSA by the Ministry of Human Resources and Development. Faculty members of the Department of Biotechnology, members of RUSA and the DICA officials were present during the curriculum reform initiative meeting. Vice Chancellor Professor Khurshid Iqbal Andrabi, while chairing the meeting, expressed surprise on having many systems in place for the same subject.
There has to be some general reform that at the end of the day you see NET now. NET is offered in all life sciences. So one way we are advocating exactly the same thing as I am saying. On the other hand, we still want to be so personified that this is biotechnology, this is biochemistry. If you really go deeper into the syllabi, you will see at least 80% overlap all over. So what is the rationale of creating a program that is only 20% unique and not making it exactly the way NET does it, have a program in life sciences, then have specialization of 20% for biotechnology, bioengineering, biochemistry, clinical biophysics. Biophysics, biophysics, etc. So that the eligibility across the board also becomes very easy. Then you do not have to specifically create positions for a certain discipline unless otherwise warranted. We will still do the job as prescribed, as directed, but I think this is very important that you actually take this home and let them have a small bit of deliberation on this. Then why don't you make it as a master's program in biology program as opposed to biotechnology and all these allied disciplines, when all of them in the end have to sit in the same examination to be declared eligible. The two things do not go together.
Dean Research Professor Zafar Ahmed Rishi opined that people drafting new syllabus must take into consideration the world scenario and it should be of an international standard.
By and large, the understanding is that the CDC, the Curriculum Development Committee, which drafted syllabus earlier, of which Professor Acharya Sharma was the member, there was much larger consultation. The syllabi were drafted, draft syllabi were circulated among us departments, right? Then inputs were got, and then ultimately when the syllabus came up, it was a very good quality syllabus. It didn't happen then subsequently, such type of consultation didn't take place. There were certain assumptions that University Grants Commission would fund, say, some amount of labs, and they will give lab support, which didn't come about. And ultimately, we, at the end of the day, teach students theory without, say, any practical work. And then there are regional disparities also, right? And then those also need to be taken note of. I am of this opinion that the syllabus that is currently in vogue, right, prescribed by the University Grants Commission also needs a relook and its wider consultation, so that we have a good basic, say, draft. When the basic draft is, say, not so good, and then you are supposed to make 30 to 40% changes, that you are making those changes in not so good curriculum, right? The earlier one was better, and then the progression of students was also better. I mean, the students who passed during that period did exceptionally well in national entrance tests.
Coordinator DICA, Dr. Manzoor Ahmad Shah, assured the members that his directorate would always provide them whatever support it needs.
This exercise is basically a part of the MHRD's initiative to undertake curricular reforms at a larger scale. so as to make curricula at par with the global institutions that increase the acceptability, employability of our students, and improve the quality of the academic discourse that we have in the universities in general. Since the University of Kashmir has opted for undertaking the curricular reforms in the biotechnology.
Later, many members also put forth their observations with regard to curriculum reforms. The Directorate of Information Technology and Support Systems organized a workshop on library resources, data preservation and security. IT expert Mr. Joseph familiarized the trainees to various new resources and technologies introduced to safeguard data.
So you can copy anything and paste it. So this is throughout the collection. OCR means optical character recognition, where they take a scan of it and make it into text. So I have the first edition of Darwin's Origin of the Species, the American edition, the British edition. Then I have the second edition for the British edition, the American edition. Third edition, the British edition, the American edition, 6 different editions. And there's no library in the world, I don't think, that has all 6 of those editions from both America and Britain. So you have that all. You have everything Charles Darwin, and quite frankly, most of the things in this collection are everything.
Director IT at SS, Engineer Maruf Qadri, asserted that the new technologies introduced will be soon put to use by the university for the benefit of the students.
It's appreciated, and it's something, it will be made available for the students on intranet, and students can search, download, whatever. And we're going to make it available to the colleges as well, because we already have IT centers in 50 colleges which are already connected to this place. So that would basically give them some kind of more importance that students can visit these IT centers. We need to give it a shape in order to make it searchable, to make it indexable. What we as an IT professionals can definitely, what I was planning is I'd put some guys on it for some time, and then we already have an web-based software developed where we index things, where we basically make it searchable.
Dean Academic Affairs Professor Musaddiq Amin Sahaf, while appreciating the IT expert for his skills, said that in the coming decades most countries would be characterized on how much knowledge economy they possess.
By 2025, most of the countries of the world will be highly characterized by the knowledge economy, where the institutions will be asked not to produce postgraduates and graduates with simple degrees, but as knowledge workers, those workers who are able to create and use the knowledge. And that is the day when we will understand the significance of the library. And we will also not only understand the significance of the library and resources, but we will also ask for more and more value addition. It is in that context the role of librarians, the role of the staff available in the library system will completely change. There will be no more now service providers. There will be people who will be directly or indirectly associated with the knowledge creation. And that role, once is accepted by the people, the university will be in a position to create some mark on the international map of research.
With this, we come to the end of today's program. In case you have missed some part of the program, you can log on to emmrckashmir.com, where you can watch the whole episode. Do send us your suggestions at our email address quest@emmrckashmir.com. Albert Camus said, "People hasten to judge in order not to be judged themselves." With these words, I take your leave. See you next week. Goodbye.